Dear listeners, good evening. I am your old friend. In this quiet night, let us turn off the noise of the day and talk together about stories of love, choices, persistence, and growth. Today, I want to share a special letter from a listener. The writer is named Sophia. She lives in Los Angeles, is a mother of 2 children, and owns a convenience store. Her story spans 14 years from having nothing to owning her own home, from resentment to mutual appreciation. She said she wants to share this story with everyone who feels lost in marriage and life. Are you willing to listen to Sophia's story with me? Sophia and her husband Mike met in 2011. One came from a small town near Los Angeles, the other from a rural area near Chicago. She did not have a high level of education and worked in skincare sales. He had only completed middle school, did not even finish high school in the US, but had a technical skill and worked as a technician in Los Angeles. Neither of them were exceptionally privileged. As Sophia said, we were both rural kids. No one backed us up. We could only rely on ourselves. Yet these 2 people, not long after meeting, made a bold decision to buy a house in Los Angeles. Mike's family scraped together money from everywhere and paid in full for an off-plan property. There was no loan. It seemed like a stable beginning, but life never follows the script. Within a few years, the project was left unfinished. Imagine this. You put your youth, your most financially vulnerable years, into a house that never materialized. You live in a rental, and when your child is born, you don't even have a proper place to recover. You have to stay in a motel. Would you feel resentment? Would you feel anger? Sophia did. She and Mike began to argue frequently. She blamed his family for the unreliable property, blamed herself for not asking for a bride price or a ring, and ended up in such a miserable situation. And Mike felt that he had already done his best, that Sophia did not understand his difficulties, and he never backed down verbally. You see, this is the reality of many marriages. In the first stage, we all feel that I am the one who suffers more. But Sophia did not choose to leave, not because she was weak, but because she had a determination. She wanted to prove herself. When her child was just over 1 year old, she desperately wanted to go back to work. Later, she and Mike took over a convenience store. How hard is it to run a convenience store? Restocking at dawn, bookkeeping late at night, standing for 14 hours a day. No weekends, no holidays. When she was pregnant with her second child, she had severe bleeding at 3 months and needed to rest to protect the pregnancy. She vomited so much she could barely stand, and the baby was born a month premature. Even so, she still insisted on going to the store every day. She said, "I once had to ask for money while staying at home with the children, and I suffered too much grievance. I swore that in this lifetime, I must have my own income." Here, I want to talk to you, those listening right now, about how important financial independence is to one's psychological sense of security. In psychology, there is a concept called self-efficacy. Simply put, it is the feeling of "I believe I can do it." When you have to ask for every penny, that sense of helplessness slowly erodes your confidence and makes you more and more humble in a relationship. But when you earn money with your own hands, even if it is just a small amount, you will feel, "I have choices. I have confidence." Sophia rebuilt her confidence little by little through this small convenience store. By 2021, Sophia and Mike had finally saved $20,000. Sophia really wanted to buy a house. She was tired of renting, tired of having no place of her own. At that time, housing prices in Los Angeles were very high, about $200 per square foot, and only local residents could buy. Sophia happened to have local residency, and she became anxious. If we don't buy now, we will never be able to afford it. She wanted a 2-bedroom apartment just to have a home first. But Mike said, buy something bigger. It won't be enough space for 2 children. In the end, they pushed themselves to buy a 3-bedroom home, costing over $200,000. They borrowed a lot of money for the down payment, and the monthly mortgage, including taxes and insurance, was $1,300. Sophia took on the mortgage, while Mike was responsible for repaying the debts from the down payment. After buying the house, they were almost completely broke. Then the pandemic came. Many people were afraid to go out. But Sophia and Mike rushed forward like warriors searching for goods in the middle of the night, working day and night without rest. In just 40 days, they managed to earn a life-saving amount of money. Sophia said, "During those 40 days, my legs were so tired I could barely move. But my heart was excited because we finally saw hope." Here is a point worth thinking about. If housing prices fall after buying a house, do you regret it? Many people would ask. Sophia admitted that prices had indeed fallen in recent years, and she felt uneasy about it. But strangely, neither she nor Mike mentioned regret or complaints anymore. Why? Because to them, the house was never just concrete and steel. It represented I finally have a home, and that girl who once had nothing has stood on her own. This psychological value far exceeds market fluctuations. Sophia shared a few small details in her letter that deeply moved me. She said her mother-in-law took care of the children back in their hometown, and she never interfered. After weaning, the children drank freshly squeezed milk and ate cereal soaked in milk she didn't mind, because she knew her mother-in-law raised 3 children the same way. She never complained about her husband's family in front of him, even though the house project had been unfinished for 14 years. Even though she stayed in a motel when giving birth to both children, she said, "I don't think that marrying another man would necessarily be smoother or happier. Not necessarily." She said, "My husband is more important than me. As long as he is doing well, I can benefit from it. Because he is truly capable of earning money, taking care of the children, managing their daily needs, he does everything well." You see, this marriage has come this far not because one suppresses the other, but because they see each other. Sophia sees Mike's sense of responsibility, ambition, and emotional stability. Mike sees Sophia's determination, resilience, and desire for a home. They are no longer impulsive or obsessed with being right. They have learned to lose verbally, as long as the outcome benefits them. In psychology, there's a term called positive illusion. In healthy intimate relationships, partners tend to slightly idealize each other, focusing on the good rather than fixating on flaws. Sophia and Mike are like this. They are not without shortcomings. They simply choose to focus on each other's contributions. Dear friends, Sophia's story ends here. It is not a tale of wealth, nor does it have dramatic twists. It is simply the story of an ordinary woman and an ordinary man who, over 14 years, moved from a failed property to a home of their own, from resentment to mutual appreciation. If you are currently in a difficult place in your marriage or relationship, I want to say a few words to you. First, do not only look at what your partner lacks, look at what they have. Emotional stability, responsibility, and ambition are far more important than romance. Second, financial independence is not for fighting your partner, but for ensuring you are not humble in a relationship. Even a very ordinary job can give you confidence. Third, some losses, once taken, should be let go. Do not keep revisiting the past. Falling house prices, imperfect childcare, not recovering properly after childbirth. Let them go. The more you cling to the past, the less you see the good in the present. Fourth, the best marriages are not those without hardship, but those that turn hardship into shared wealth. Sophia said, "What is hardship? It is a precious treasure, a steadfast responsibility, and love." Tonight, let us remember Sophia's final words. We can see each other's efforts, so deep down, we are both content. This is the life of ordinary people, ordinary couples. Yet it is exactly this kind of life that deserves to be managed with care and protected with love. That's all for tonight's letter. If you also have a story to share, feel free to leave a comment or send me an email. May you have a good night and sweet dreams.